top lane, back and forth. Grand Skyfall coming in, and it's going to be on Froggen. He's going to manage to get the stun down there. Shook comes straight in, gets the shield on him. Is it going to be enough though? Froggen have to flash away. Does get caught out. Jez, oh, it's a giant shockwave. Intervention comes in. Shook's going to get taken down. No, he gets saved. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. The Ignite's not going to be enough to take Shook down, but it was a great trade nonetheless. Alliance go 2 for 1.
Yeah, very well played in that situation. I think Shook, once again, now realizing, hey, Svenskeren responded to every single one of my ganks. Let's see if we can force his hand. Managing to land the counter gank, and the shockwave only became available during that fight. Froggen did not have it when he got jumped on, and as he flashed away, cooldown became available. He took the shot and managed to work out. With the kills they've got, now Alliance are getting some wards down, stealing a blue buff, potentially, unless Enrated has anything to say about it, and they may set up for Dragon here.
Remember, Super Mega Death Rocket was just used. Shook taken low already there, has to back away, and that's going to be the Zenith Blade on towards Nif. They get the stun down. Candy Panda follows through, hasn't got that ultimate available yet. And let's also count out, Candy Panda fired that ultimate from the bottom of the map.
Yeah, Candy Panda and Enrated were moving towards the mid lane, but Candy Panda is just playing out of his skin yesterday and today. He's got himself his 3rd kill of the game, he's even on CS with tabs, and he's got that Bloodthirst and Zeal. Now, Dragon has been started. Alliance are going to try to contest. All of their ultimates are available if they want to, but it's going down just too quickly.
Well, Death Sentence was a mile clear, and Wiki's not even close to this fight. Now the Zenith Blade lad. Again, Nif has to put it down. Solar Flare will catch on towards him. SK choose to back away from this one. They notice Froggen is back up, has that blue pot on him and the shockwave available. It means it will be another Dragon for SK.
Yeah, well played by Wicked to actually roam down. If the fight had broken out, he would have been there, but unfortunately, because of that decision, Freddy's going to respond. SK Gaming pick up their first tower of the game. It's the top tower, which is more difficult to take down, and if Candy Panda is given a couple more minions, he should be able to even take this tower down in this next wave, if he wants it.
Well, Switcheroo put some damage back on towards Tabs with that red buff burning on him as well. Shook coming in for the blue buff to give to Froggen. Froggen will take that quite happily, and you know, with that trade going along, it kept Freddy with a big advantage in the top lane. And this bottom lane is getting really quite edgy. SK Gaming really starting to put the pressure on Alliance.
I actually think SK Gaming are far and away ahead in this lane right now. Tabs has actually picked himself up that Cloak of Agility for the critical hit chance. If he gets a lucky critical hit, he can then carry on following it up with the damage. Caitlyn does not offer anywhere near the raw amount of damage that Candy Panda does. We do see Jez is roaming to this bottom lane. Svenskeren's coming in range, most likely for a Grand Skyfall. So the focus is the tower. If anyone sticks around, I think they could even go for some kills if they wanted to.
Yeah, Froggen was actually trying to counter that one, passed it through, and this is something we talked about yesterday. We were talking about with Deficio, how Jesus needs to start roaming, and that's actually what he's looking to start doing. He's trying to make some plays out for his team, and SK Gaming are looking very good in this one, obviously with a nearly 3,000 gold lead. Once the KO gets going, it can be very hard to stop. Froggen is going to have to really be on point with those shockwaves. Again, Zap landing onto Tabs there. Nif doing what he can to keep him at bay, but they keep on shoving them waves onto Alliance.
Yeah, we haven't seen a single large-scale fight, and I actually think that the way Froggen is playing his Orianna so far, he's probably going to have some good shockwaves, and we need to see who's going to have a bigger impact in these fights, Wicked or Freddy122, because once again, they've just been living on their island up in the top lane. A lot of gold to spend for many of these players, and Tower is still standing. Tabs and Nif have defended this for so many more waves than I was anticipating.
Well, Svenskeren's close by, but he was going to get it spotted out by that ward. That will be the tower going to SK Gaming. Second one of the game. There's the Zap landing on Nif. They're going to wait their time in this one. Candy Panda keeps the damage onto Nif. Grand Skyfall's going to come down. He's going to land on top of Nif. Death Rocket does come in. It's Tabs. He actually jumps up, but he has to back away. Death Sentence coming in from Nif. Shook comes flying in from the side. Doesn't manage to land anything, though, and they do back away.
So Flash is down on both Tabs and Nif once again. One Grand Skyfall getting the summoners from Alliance. What SK Gaming have been doing is they continue sieging after that, and then they go for the dive with the Leona once her cooldown becomes available. But as we said, there was a lot of money on the side of SK, so they're going to back away. Giant Spell picked up for Enrated. He gets a lot of bonus armor and MR from his Eclipse, the W, so that makes his effective health even more effective. Candy Panda, a lot more additional damage secured.
Jez is not really worrying about Froggen's farm, despite the fact Froggen keeps on trying to clear those waves. Jez is just shoving them straight onto it. And at the moment, all lanes seem to be going SK Gaming's favor, despite the fact there is that big CS difference. It's hard to counter because of those little wraiths they've been taking on there. But so at the moment, Shook once again is falling behind on Svenskeren. He's not really performed with all the hype that was surrounding him. Certainly after the Battle of Atlantic, he did fantastic against Dignitas. But once the LCS has started, He struggled.
Yeah, and you know, it's because of the fact that he hasn't been on Champions that he has been able to make a play with. It's actually a similar situation as Impaler from Super Hockey.
Yeah.
When he's not on Vi, Impaler struggles, and when Shook, to be frank, is not on Elise, he's not as scary. This performance, though, is a little bit better. I think he's had some good ganks. He's actually countered Svenskeren relatively well, and he's been in place to defend the lanes that are struggling. So it's not all bad, but he's not necessarily helping Alliance win.
Well, that was the top lane pressure as well. Freddy continuing to try and shove on towards Wicked. Meanwhile, down the bottom here, we see the Wave minions continuing to push on there. Candy Panda wanting to try and get some damage onto the inner turret, and they're going to have some free time here because Tabs is all on his own. Meanwhile, the top lane, you can see Dominus was popped by Freddy. He's already taken that turret down, and he's giving chase on towards Wicked here. He's going to keep on going. The slice comes out and just forces him back.
Yeah, it's going to be so difficult for any one of these champions to kill each other because of the power of Dominus and because Wicked still had Subjugate available. Now that Dragon's up in about a minute and a half's time and Teleport is available from Wicked, we'll have to see who's going to make a play for this one. Look at the lifesteal from Wicked.
Well, the AD carry is going a little bit different. Of course, Static Shift being picked up by Candy Panda. We just saw him taking the golems down there with it. Phantom Dancer, meanwhile, picked up by Tabs as the second item instead of that last Whisper early on, trying to keep the pace with Candy Panda.
Yeah, and the mobility it also gives you is very important for Tabs. Because Renekton and Panther are going to be diving onto him, I think the ability to just kite a little bit quicker with Phantom Dancer is going to help out. Now, Freddy slices once, dices twice, gets away for the time being.
Yeah, Resonating Strike will not land. Shook tries to get back on towards him, but he just backs away from this one. Now the red buff, though, is being stolen away. SK Gaming starting to have their wicked way with Alliance.
Froggen needs to respond a little bit more. There's so much pressure in this bottom lane. The moment Shook showed himself up top, SK instantly invaded. They stole every single camp in this bottom lane, and it does look like Svenskeren, they may want to go for a dive on this one. Grand Skyfall is available. He started the channel.
Tabs is trying to get away from it. Nif's going to get caught out. He's going to get separated. The Choppers goes down. No chance there for Nif. And that's all simply stemmed from SK Gaming coming in, taking the red. Froggen not really keeping the advantage and not following him through. They've got to be careful in their own jungle.
Yeah, and that actually stems from Shook being up in the top lane. They've caught Froggen out. He's forced to flash because there was a red buff in Candy Panda, so he's going to get the range from that rocket launcher. Dragon is up in 10 seconds. SK have position on this one, and they should be able to pick it up fairly safely, knowing that Nif isn't there to aid Alliance in a fight.
Yeah, 6 seconds, and that will be up. SK Gaming do have the time in, but they're more interested in the blue buff first. Jessis will get that, keep that cooldown on. So Dragon spawn. Let's see if anyone goes for it. At the moment, SK Gaming, they're going to play it a little bit more cautiously this time. We do see Unrated looking, setting up for a gank, though.
I wonder if they're trying to bait in Alliance right now. Knowing Dragon's there, knowing Alliance are going to most likely check for it, you can see Unrated still hanging out on the top. Wicked started to channel the teleport, and I think SK forced to back away.
Oh, he was in perfect position to go for Froggen there, but the rest of the team were unsure on it. Now they're actually going to try and come in for it. The Dragon is there. He keeps popping on and off. Trust me, it is there. Static Shift will catch on towards him. Zap again. Candy Panda's going to get focused by Wicked. Ace in the hole comes through, lands on him as well. He's going to try and do the damage from the back. At the moment, Rated tanking all the damage. Now comes Freddy. He comes into the side. Solar Flare goes down. Catches on towards Nif. Shook tries to go deep. Shockwave pulls in 3 members of SK Gaming, but it's not enough damage. Wicked is going to go down. Now they're going to chase on towards Froggen. That's going to catch on towards him. He gets dropped as well. It's a 2 for 0, and the Dragon still untouched right now. SK Gaming setting a beautiful trap.
That was actually such a great fight for both teams. Because Freddy was not in the area to have an impact on the fight, Alliance initially had won it out, but they didn't manage to make any plays with their ultimates. Tower in mid is down, Dragon secured, SK just shredded another tower.
2 towers and the Dragon. Giant gold turn there for SK Gaming.